everybody, I am back with another video. Woohoo! Yay! In today's video, I am going to be doing a book review. We all know that sometimes I stumble over words and sometimes I don't always make sense when I'm doing these reviews, so let me apologize off at the start here. Alright, so the book that I'm going to be reviewing for you guys today is The Murder Complex by Lindsay Cummings. First off, let's just say that I was drawn to this book for three main particular reasons from just not even the synopsis of the book, just from the front and back covers. The first thing is that the title is The Murder Complex, and that just intrigued me, that it's an interesting title. I wanted to know what that meant. And then you read in between the lines that it says, she's trained to survive, he's programmed to kill. So that just drew me in even more. Why was he programmed to kill? Why does she need to know these survival skills, you know? I had questions. The front cover made me ask questions, which made me intrigued in the book. Then I turned it over to the back and I read the blurb. And the little blurb says, "Welcome to the Murder Complex. You cannot see us, you cannot feel us, but we are here. And we control your every move." I was immediately intrigued after that, like, 1, 2, 3, bam, 3 shots there, and I was hooked. I needed to get this book and to read it. I only had one kind of reason to be put off by it, and it was because it is a YA dystopian novel. Now, I know there's a lot of those out there, and a lot of people write them, and a lot of them are kind of the same thing. They change it up for their own story, but essentially the bones of the story are the same. But I wanted to give this one a chance because it did really draw me in just from the front and back covers. So then I go in and I read a synopsis about it. It's 15-year-old Meadow Woodson is trained by her father to survive in this dystopian world that's basically based in Florida, a section of Florida. And she is trained to survive because the murder rate of this area is higher than the birth rate, which is insane. So if that doesn't get you, she ends up meeting this guy named Zephyr James. Zephyr James is a ward, and a ward is basically an orphan in this area. He ends up being connected to the murder complex. The Murder Complex is a small division of the Initiative, which is the government body of this dystopian world. People are cataloged. You have a tattoo of a number that is your citizen number. You have a pin in your arm that tracks your every move. And the world building in this book was just phenomenal. I didn't feel like I was just reading through lots and lots of setting up a world. I felt like, I was in the action, things were happening at all times, but I was still learning what's going on in this society, how it's set up, and then you get to where you're about halfway through and more action starts happening, and it's a very fast-paced, very, very enthralling book. It does go between Meadow and Zephyr's perspectives. It starts off with them before they meet, then when they do meet, and it continues through to the end of the story, which, Lindsay, dat cliffhanger though. Oh. Okay, so the one thing about this book that I think is a lot, in my opinion, better than most of the other YA dystopians are the characters. The main character, Meadow Woodson, 15 years old, she's been trained to survive in this world by her father, like brutally trained to fight for her life, and it is insanely hard to survive in this world. There are people who want to kill you, there are people programmed to kill you, there are people who are just shady. They're just shady. They will kill you for any reason. If you have creds, if you have anything of value, if you look at them wrong, you know, she's been trained to hold her own in these kind of situations. And she does it with grace, and she does it with a little bit of humor, and she's very, very snarky and sarcastic, which I love because I can be snarky and sarcastic. So I love Meadow for that. And she's tough. She's a tough chick. But you also get to see that she's human. She has a breakdown. She has a moment where she just doesn't think that it's worth it. She has her human moments, you know, where things are not going the way that she had hoped or she planned. She has so many freaking surprises that go on, and the way she handles them is just incredible. And so that's why she's my favorite YA heroine. YA dystopian female protagonist favorite. Then you have Zephyr. Oh, Zeph. Zeph. Zephyr has probably one of the hardest things, in my opinion, to accept in the book towards the end. He is a ward. He has his best friend Talon, and these two go through the streets almost daily, picking up all of the dead people. He visits the memorials of those that he's killed. He doesn't remember killing them. He doesn't know why he killed them, but he goes and he visits the memorials because he feels so strongly towards these people, because he doesn't know why he did it. And then he meets Meadow, and he's been seeing her in his dreams for the majority of the first part of the book. Talon is also a female, just so you know. However, he feels a connection with Meadow, and somehow that connection has been reciprocated on Meadow's side. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but he is like a little puppy in love, and it is the cutest thing ever, but he takes the shit from her like a real man, and she wants to be on her own. It is she has to get back to her family, she has to protect her family, she needs to figure out what's going on, and he is basically he basically takes all of the shit that she gives him word-wise, verbally. She basically keeps telling him, I'm gonna kill you. But he doesn't let her do it alone. He's like, I'm still going with you whether you want me to or not, so sorry. But he finds out in a matter of pages, he loses a whole bunch of people. He finds out what he is and why he killed all of those people. He is injured, injured insanely bad, and he's dealing with all of this in a matter of pages towards the end before the cliffhanger, and he takes everything so well, and I think he's a very, very well-rounded character. When he is not being controlled, he's a very stable character, and he's kind of the rock, I feel like, of this book. So I really enjoy those two. And then, you have your secondary characters. You have Koi, Perry, Sketch, Dad, Pirates, Initiative, Orion, and they're all great characters, and they all fit well to the story. And then you have Kansas, which just kind of was awesome for me that there was a character in the book named after the state I live in. So I was really excited about that. But I really do feel like this book is very well, it's well thought out, it's well written. It didn't make me cringe at any point with the writing, which happens a lot with books. And I really enjoyed the story. Cliffhanger, though, at the end of this. This is why I really, really need the death code, because there was a cliffhanger at the end of this book. And I am still... I'm in a hangover. I am in a book hangover from this book right now. I can't get into any other ones because I really need the death code. And guys, if you haven't read The Murder Complex and you're kind of feeling like you want one that's action-packed, I mean, there's a little bit of romance in it, but it's not really one of the romancy kind of dystopians that you normally see where there's a love triangle and everything. But if you want something that also has humor and sarcasm and wit and is just a good read, I am strongly, strongly recommending The Murder Complex by Lindsay Cummings. I really, really enjoyed this book, and I hope that you guys do too. I apologize that this video is kind of all over the place. But if you have any questions about it, if you've read it and have any other opinions, please put those in the comments. You can message me, you can tweet me, you can tweet Lindsay. And this is the cool thing about this book as well. Lindsay is on Twitter like all the time. I have tweeted her I don't know how many times, and she always has either a reply, she'll retweet it, she'll favorite it, something. She's always involved with her readers, especially on Twitter, and that really makes for an incredible reading experience as well when you can connect with the author. So Lindsay, if you ever watch this, which you may or may not, I want to tell you thank you for writing this, because it was really something I needed to kind of get me out of a reading slump, and I really would like to let everyone else know that they really need to read this book, because it's awesome. It is really, really good. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. All of my friendship links are down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!